Welcome to the Peace and Parenting Podcast. I'm Michelle, and I have a lovely guest, Cammie, who is our brand new Peace and Parenting coach. Welcome to the show, Cammie. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me on.
I'm so glad you're here. So, wait, first of all, just tell us, where do you live? How many kids do you have? How old are they?
Fantastic questions. I am in Washington State near Seattle. I've got two gorgeous kids. I've got Archie, who is 6, nearly 7, and Flora, who is 2 and nearing 3.
Yay! We love it. Nearing 30, is that what you said?
3.
Oh, I thought you said 30.
Oh,
I was like, sounds like my kids. Nearing 30.
she really is 2 nearing 30, though.
Yeah,
She has her
that
life
that sounds
figured
about
out.
right. Sounds about right. So tell just before we get to you becoming a coach, let's just talk about, what was your journey like into the start of Peace and Parenting?
So I'm gonna kind of go back to when I had Archie. I knew that I wanted to do something different. I just didn't know what. I thought I kind of knew. I thought I had in my mind what it would look like that would be different from the way that I was brought up. I knew I wanted it to look different from that just because I knew it wasn't the right fit for me
Yeah.
and that it didn't feel good in that space. So I knew I wanted to be different. I just wasn't quite sure what that looked like. And I kind of organically through having Archie was one of those sleepers that woke every 45 minutes. I was sure I was doing everything wrong. And turns out he is my big feeling kid who is always going to be my big feeling kid.
Yeah.
And he needed something different. And so that ultimately led me to find connective parenting. And I found you. The Instagram algorithm hit me. I found your page. I found your podcast. And I fell deep into the work.
Yeah.
It was such a good fit for us. And I had been a longtime follower and listener of your podcast, but I felt like I probably just needed that bit more in terms of coaching from you all. And so I reached out to you and enrolled in the CPM,
Nice. And the
which allowed
CPM is
me.
the Connected Parent Mastermind for people who don't know. It's our group coaching program. It runs all year long, and we have 3 meetings, live meetings per week. And now Cammie is going to be running her own meeting. And the coaches run each of their own meetings, and it's an incredible, yeah. Yeah. What's your takeaway from the CPM?
Right off the bat, it was just such an incredible space. I think I can still remember the first group that I joined with Martha. She runs the Tuesday 9:30 a.m. Pacific time group, and I just was like, "This is an incredible space
Yeah.
to share that space with parents, to connect with parents, to have the encouragement not just from the coach but the other parents and ideas, and just know that we're all in it together."
Yeah.
Is an incredible feeling. It just I think also because in my world, connective parenting is new in the people I'm around, and so there's a lot of pushback, side eye about
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
How come you can't, quote unquote, control your kid?
Yeah.
And so, what's this new age
Yeah.
approach? And so to be in that space where you just don't feel alone because you see the work is being done by others and we're growing, learning, and healing together. It's an incredible space.
Yes, I love the CPM too. What differences do you see in your children and in yourself having done this work?
I'm so glad you asked it in that way in terms of like not just the kids but also myself, because I don't think they're certainly not mutually exclusive.
Mhm.
And I think my growth has been just as much as the kids,
Yeah.
and just the way that I see how they're approaching the world and how they're learning and what that looks like.
Yeah.
It comes out in tantrums and meltdowns, and to be in a position where I can hold space for them is also at the same time holding space for myself.
Yeah.
It's allowing us to be in that discomfort and that we're getting through it together. So, in terms of the growth, I have, Archie, who's he's my big feeling kid, and I have learned kind of what works for him in terms of getting his big feelings out. He tends to kind of hold them inside, and then they can come out in a big meltdown, or they can be something that comes out little by little through laughter and play. And
Yeah.
that was something I used to really try to draw on getting him to feel the feelings through what I pictured as tears and, you know, screaming and just kind of letting the feelings out that way. But I learned through the CPM and with the coaches that maybe like
Yeah.
laughter also releases feelings.
Yep.
And that has been such a game changer for us
Yeah.
because he can be on the brink of, wanting to go into sort of aggressive behavior. And there are ways to kind of bring in play that get him to the laughter to let his feelings out that way. And
Yep.
then we're back to a connective space and we're just back to that, cooperation with each other. So that was something that I have really taken away that I didn't have before. And it's a tool for us that we're using all the time. With Flora, it is, she's gone from being, oh man, practically like a baby when I started this
Yeah.
this process to now she's full on toddlerhood. And she comes to me to let her feelings out.
Yeah.
She's at the moment, it's very different. Archie tends to run away. He wants to kind of be alone because those feelings feel a bit scary to him.
Yeah.
And with Flora, she is totally embracing the like need to have those feelings with somebody else. So it's been really special to see her not kind of move away from it, but lean into it.
Yeah. So
And
good.
to get clarification, I think without this guidance, without the coaching, I might see their personality differences as one is hindering and one is the quote unquote right way and the other one's the quote
Mhm.
unquote wrong way. But what I've learned is that it's different. They both have their ways of processing.
Yep.
And then I have my way of processing. And I've just learned that it's all okay.
Yes.
However they work through it is
Called
okay.
normal, right? It all is very normal. There's no there is no normal really, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Okay. So you did the CPM for how long were you in the CPM? Quite a while.
I started this CPM in June and then
So 6
and
months,
yeah,
7
about 6
months,
months.
6 months,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
you did our first cohort of our Peace and Parenting certification program where I helped people learn the ideas of connection through the lens of a coach.
Yeah.
And so what tell me what you thought about that process.
Yeah, I jumped all over this. I was in a period of transition where I had recently separated and was looking at what life would be like with me having to sort of be able to support the kids, and also just trying to set up a world that allowed me to have that work-life balance. And my background is in adult education and training. That's where my master's degree is. And so working with adults comes quite naturally to me. It's what I like to do. So when you put out the call for the certification course, the light bulb went off. I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is for me. And so I immediately signed up, and man, it was just like another elevation of this work and what it means to be in this space connecting with your kids. There were so many things that I was able to just take to another level and get clarification on that has allowed me to be this parent.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect. I still make mistakes, but I've also learned, not just through the CPM, but through the certification course, what does that look like?
Yeah.
When you have a misstep, we're all going to have missteps. What does
Mhm.
that look like?
Yep.
And so learning it through the lens of being a coach, it just immensely helped my parenting and also how I feel about my kids and how I feel about myself as a
Yeah.
parent. So,
What do you
um,
tell me about the program? What did you like about the program or what was good about it? What were the highlights?
Oh, the highlight for me for sure were the other participants in the program and being able to share with them. I know that we were all on the last day, we were all sad.
I
We were
know.
all sad and we've shared our details with one another and it'll be cool to kind of see where everyone goes, having completed this certification course. But it was a real camaraderie in a way that kind of, I suppose, it's like a small group because it was a small cohort of us and just being able to bring any questions we had. It was such a safe space.
Mhm.
One of the things I loved most was also practicing and doing a bit of role play with the listening partnerships.
Mhm.
That was really powerful and allowed us to really sit in the space of what it would be like to be a client
Yeah.
who is experiencing that listening partnership.
Mhm.
I also really liked the way that it was set up, that it was sort of, we had a week to be able to go through the module, which wasn't a huge workload. I'd say I'd spent about an hour-ish outside of the course,
Mhm.
reading, going through the modules, and then integrating the homework into parenting and stuff. So that way we could come together in the group and talk about how it went, share your experiences, and clarify anything through the modules. So it just had a really great flow that wasn't overwhelming and allowed you to really comprehend the principles of peace and parenting.
Yeah, that's so good. I think too that camaraderie, even for me, like being the coach in it all, I was like, it felt really special. I don't know if it was just because it was the first cohort. I don't know if it's just always gonna feel like that, but it felt very grounding and everyone was so authentic and bringing their best selves and everyone, you have a level of certain person who wants to be a coach, right? Who wants to study this stuff further, who wants to spend 12 weeks of their time like doing this work. It's a different kind of person and that person is those are my people. I want to hang with those people, parenting nerds, like that's just lovely, very lovely. Such great, great, great people. Um, and so now what's your journey now? What are you doing now, Cammie?
Well, I am incredibly grateful to have been brought onto the Peace and Parenting team as a coach. I cannot believe the full circle of this experience. That I mean, I just I keep thinking about like taking in your content through Instagram, podcasts, to then being in the CPM to now like I get to lead my own group. What? Like, is this real
Yay!
life?
Yes.
I
Cammie
am
gets her own
so
group next week,
yeah,
February 4th, everybody on Wednesday. She gets to do her
I'm
own group.
just so grateful that I get to do what I am so passionate about and that I'm living in this world where I have kids, young kids. Like I'm in it. I'm
Yeah,
in it every day.
you're in it.
And it's hard. And the fact
Mhm.
that I get to share that with others and encourage them, and if I can impact someone to let them know they're not alone and that they are everything that their kids need, I just like it's fueling me right now in a
Yay!
way that I didn't know I could be fueled about a job, if
I
that makes
know.
sense.
Yeah, totally makes sense. I understand you on all kinds of deep levels. I felt the same. I still feel the same. But I remember when I first started working with clients and I was like, wow. After meetings, I would be like, oh my God, I feel good. Like I felt good going to work. I still do when I meet with clients. It's like my most favorite thing. And so you feel like I don't know, some sort of energy, I guess,
It
talking to
is.
people. Yeah.
It is.
It is a
And clients, coaches, um, being part of those groups, like you do really walk away with the feeling of like there is a certain energy in those groups
Mhm.
and a certain camaraderie and knowing that you're not alone and being
Yep.
able to share like it's just such a special space.
It really is. I get energized I'll be tired and I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna do my group today. I'm tired." And then I'll get into my group and I'll be like, "Oh, I love my people. They're so sweet." And they're all the lovely piece of this work is that everyone's trying to be a better person, which that's who I wanna surround myself with. people who actually want to be better people. And those are incredible folks, and we're so blessed in this community to have, so many of them that are doing that.
And I think you're right. I think people come to this work wanting to be a better parent, maybe to fix things for their kids, and then they realize, ah, there's nothing to quote unquote fix. It's all about your perception. It's all about
Mhm.
connecting with your kid and also connecting with yourself. Like, I think
Yeah,
that that's something you don't expect is how much you're going to learn about yourself
yeah,
and what you're bringing to the table as a parent, and having to unpack some of that and heal
yeah,
some things that haven't been dealt with. It's heavy at times, but so rewarding. And I think you just feel so much lighter
yeah.
and so much more fulfilled.
And I feel like I've become a better person. I'm more patient, I'm more empathic, I'm kinder, I'm more introspective. I'm definitely
One.
not perfect, but I'm way better of a person than I ever was. I'm a better friend, I'm a better partner, I'm a better sister. I'm a way better sister than I ever was, which is incredible because I wasn't a great sister, and I'm a better daughter. I'm a better
But
person.
I'm a better person in the community. You know,
Yeah.
when somebody flies by me on the freeway, I immediately like, I wonder what's going on for them.
Yeah.
You know, just
They
just
have some
taking
generational
that.
trauma they're dealing with. They'll be
Yeah,
fine. Just
just
let
take
'em
it. And oh
be.
my gosh, what if we all walked around with that
Well,
kind
that's
of
what I say, this
mentality?
work could change the world if we allowed
I
it, if we get big enough, if we get strong enough, this work can change the world
Yeah.
because the world needs changing, we all know that
I
by
have
now.
I have never felt more hopeful about that
Yeah.
with the generation that we're working with.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think it's heavy in spaces of the world right now, but when we look at how we're listening to the next generation and the more people do this work, like, I'm just so hopeful for what could
Yeah.
be.
Yay, Cammie, thank you. Thank you for being in the CPM. Thank you for being part of Peace and Parenting. We're so lucky to have you. I'm so excited for you to start your journey as a coach. For any of you who are interested, the certification is coming out this week. So you can sign up for the certification. We're doing a cohort in February. I would love to see y'all there. And the CPM is always running. We love to have folks join our group coaching program because it is a lovely, lovely place to be. So those links will be in the show notes. And thank you, Cammie, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for all of this.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.